Homeschooling surges. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heiser here, and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Grab your stein of coffee, and I want to have a look at this article which is discussing the increase of homeschooling here in Australia. Now, we have been homeschooling for years now with all of our children. We started with our eldest, and the younger ones are starting to jump in. Now, up until this year, we were doing distance education through a private distance education school. They, had some, let's say, pedagogical changes and curriculum changes this year, so we've finally decided to make the flip to going full homeschool through the home education unit that they have here in the government, from the department here in Queensland, where you report to them, and Rachel's working up our interpretation of the curriculum that we wish to teach our children. Now, I liked the school, it was really good, but my problem was that their methodology to teach and meet the targets of the curriculum takes so long, so many hours. It didn't allow for efficiencies when you have students across multiple years, particularly in the primary years, which you can find ways to make work. And we want our kids to get a good education, and Rachel and I both have 2 degrees each, so we can teach our children, but we also want them to have time to play as kids, normal kids. I remember Alan Jones did a tirade about just how much homework some of these kids get. We sent Mina to day school for a term, our eldest, and the amount of homeschool she was getting is nuts. It was just nuts. Or homework. Did I say homeschool? Homework they were getting. I remember back in primary school, sure, we had some homework, but not this much. And this is the thing. Whenever there's another group or interest group that has another pet interest, they'll add it to the curriculum, but they never take anything out. So our education outcomes just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And you know what? Let me find that. Where do I have that here? I don't know if I've got that one. I'll find it a bit later, guys. In another video, we'll look at just the declining education standards here in Australia. So let's look at this about homeschooling. So the rise of home education. And this is from 2011 to 2010. And I went through normal schooling my entire life. I never thought I would be homeschooling our kids. But so far, it's something we enjoy. And don't get me wrong, it can be frustrating. Just before I recorded this, I had a bit of let's say our eldest didn't want to do her mathematics, so she was quite angry and taking it out on her father. So I calmly dealt with that and let her calm down. She ended up doing it, but that's part of the give and take. There's a level of familiarity with your parents that you wouldn't have in a school environment, you've got to manage that. It's all part of being a parent. So, nationally, the number of students registered for home education has more than doubled in the last 10 years. The annual report of state regulatory bodies provide registration figures as at June the 30th each year, and strong growth can be seen across each jurisdiction. We see New South Wales is up there, then Victoria, then Queensland, and then you've got, what's this grey one? WA, South Australia, Tasmania, very few in ACT. So there you go, guys. Look at that. And New South Wales, right at the top, is the students registered for home education from 9,955, so under 10,000, to 27,922. This is home education. This is not distance education, what we were doing. So we'd enrolled in a private distance education school where we would teach the kids at home. And we'd have some of the extra things like, sporting events and that. And I mean, here's one of the fallacies people have is they think that you're not socialized as a homeschooled kid. What you do is you organize things for them to do, like social events, swimming lessons, dance classes. You go out for family events. You have play dates with other families together. And it's usually children across multiple age groups and adults interacting together. So they become more normal. They're socialized normally. It seems natural how to do it, not in a Prussian factory. We all have to sit and copy shit down and wonder why people are all stressed. So, most states reported at 30th of June, but Queensland reports in August and ACT reports in February. In 2017, Tasmania switched to reporting end of June instead of December, creating a data gap. Okay. A 2021 register figure for the NT has been requested. They're still finding that now. So, I mean, there you go, guys. So we're seeing an increase in home education. So let's have a talk about this one. I'll have a shot of coffee. So, I mean, with my own bias, I think this is quite a good thing. The teachers are going to be, let's say, frustrated because there's an evolution in access to information and technology and how you can learn. It used to be, you'd go to, even at university, you go there, you listen to one lecture, but now you can get lectures and information from all over the world. If you want to learn piano, you can do private lessons every day, whenever you want, online, from teachers all over the world. They can give you lectures, you can do lessons, you can teach yourself, you can learn all these skills now much easier than you can in the past. And parents, you've got access to so much more information to help teach your children these things. For us, the core emphasis is on reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's what we really want them to focus on and excel in. All the other parts of the curriculum we'll teach is thematic subjects. We'll have like a subject that will deal with that theme. Then you also bring the core elements into that, and you just build on that. And often, I find if you follow the interests of your children, you can get them really engaged and steer them down a path where they can learn a lot and tick off these performance requirements. But you can do that when you're teaching them at home. You can't really do that in a school environment. There's just too many of them. I remember I was visiting the school that we enrolled Mina in, and this is what pushed me over the edge. I measured the acoustics in there, and the decibel rating of the sound reverberating in this space with 150 students in one big room was just ludicrous. Because this was a combined room, multi-classes. They don't combine just one classroom anymore. You're not there with 30 kids. You've usually got 120 and 3 teachers and teachers' aides all in the same room. Because then it makes it easier for the teachers to work with certain groups. How easy is it going to be for children to get missed in that environment if you've got a problem? And for us, it was quite frustrating because we couldn't see, didn't have our finger on the pulse of how our kids were going, when now we can. Like today I'm going through mathematics with Mina, and I can see what her issues are. With Frederick, he couldn't write S's the right way around, so I made him train it again and again and again, just to train that, to learn it, to focus on these things. So, but the issue is, and this is the big one, you generally have to sacrifice one career to do it. So Rachel primarily is working at home to educate. She still works in the practice, and she helps on projects as I need it, but that's usually after hours or after the school day. So she has to juggle the two. But primarily, she's devoted her time to homeschooling. That's the price you have to pay. So you're giving up $100,000, $150,000 salary to teach your kids at home. Some people aren't willing to make that sacrifice. Others are. It also, you also don't need to ask someone's permission to take your kids to go camping or to go to a trip. And then you can turn that into an educational thing. You go for a bushwalk and you turn it into trying to identify different types of trees, and you log it and record it, and they learn from it. It's a different world. And look, it's good to see more people are brave enough to give it a shot. I'd recommend it, guys. And thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments below. Have you been homeschooled? How did you find it? Do you resent and hate your parents for taking you to it? Or did you love it? Let us know. And if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, sign up for Self-Wealth or Stake, use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or Aussie Broadband. You can buy our merch from Heiser Says, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to refer you to one of the videos Rachel and I did about how we were homeschooling our kids, one of the live streams. Check that out if you're interested. It's worth it, guys. It can be frustrating, but in the long term, it's worth it. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye for now.